Oh, I bought that dude's website. So what is he? The you're this guy. He's been saying that Immune is a unicorn. Oh, this was a good pun. Flowers for Alzion, because there's a great book called Flowers for Algernon. So that's actually a fairly good pun. I'll give you that. Carl Kestens, that's his name. Um, I mean, I don't know why this guy has real estate in my head because he's an amateur investor, but he was so certain that Immune, the unicorn in Immune, a good Alzheimer's drug is worth far beyond $100 billion. Well, just to make sure he doesn't delete all of his stuff, I have purchased a website called carlkestens.com. It will be launching soon. We will make sure that forevermore we have Carl Keston's great stock picks immortalized right here on this website. Just so we never forget, you know? Oh, I've invited him on the show. I don't have a show, by the way, but I've invited him to chat. He's a little bit afraid. And I look, I can be very imposing. You know? You wouldn't want to cross me in a courtroom. But he's a lawyer. I'm just a, what do I know? I'm not going to say character attacks. I'm just going to put what he wrote up, just so he can't delete it. I've asked him to come on a million times. He can't. It's a Dunning-Kruger. The guy just started looking at bio. Same thing as Matt Nacktrab. This is my like, I don't know. It's like a side hustle for me. Just taking these guys' money. The Dunning-Kruger guys who show up. You've probably seen it at a poker table. A guy shows up, says, "Yeah, I know how to count my outs. I know how to bluff. I know a little game theory, optimal poker. Let me sit down with, who's this bum, Phil Hellmuth? I got you. Why is my chip stack dropping? I can't believe it. It must be an error. Let me go upstairs and get more chips. Tray of chips. Cash me in, dealer." Dealer's looking at you like, "Bruh, maybe you want to take a seat, bruh. Go home. Come back tomorrow." "I got this. Give me the cards." "Two aces, huh? All in." Phil Hellmuth's like, "Okay, I know this guy has two aces. What can beat two aces? 7-8 diamonds. You know what? I call." He called! I'm 60-40 to win! Oh man, diamond. Ah, it's over. How'd you know? Do you have infrared vision? Did you look at my cards? I don't know. It really, nobody likes to put it this way, but it'd be like me playing Kasparov. I'm 1400. I've never studied chess. Even though I've taken classes from grandmasters, I just don't like to study chess. The highest rating I've ever been was maybe 1600, and it's just not my thing. I like playing. I've beaten some players at higher ratings, but yeah, I'm not very good at chess. And if somebody says, "Martin, I'm giving you an opportunity to play Garry Kasparov," I'd say, "Wonderful. I'd love to play Garry Kasparov. He's a hero. He's brilliant." And they say, "There's just one problem, Martin. You got to pay to play Garry." So I'll make a donation to any charity he wants. I'll donate $5,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of Manhattan. All right? Sound good? And they say, "Garry has a different idea in mind, Mr. Shkreli." So what's that? And he says, he wants to bet you $10 million in the outcome of the game. And they say, "Well, you know what? By God, I'll take it." And I go start reading books. I read My System. I read how to reassess your chess. I read all the Patzer books. I'm studying. I get up to 1900 on league chess. I'm ready to beat Gary. I show up, I lose in 12 moves. I'm down a queen. I owe him 10 million bucks. This is what you guys do daily, on a daily basis in the stock market. Stop. Stop it. There are Gary Kasparovs out there. The whole market's full of them. They get more capital than you. It's a very weird dynamic because they have so much capital, it really is bizarre. Unlike chess or any other binary game, you'll go to a chess tournament. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but there's like the best ranked players sit on that far left table. I'm usually there. No, I'm usually somewhere over here. Yeah, I think this is like Swiss ranking or something like that. In every round, by the second or third round of the chess game, if you're 3-0, you're over here. And you play the other guy who's 3-0. The guys who are like 1-2 or 0-3, they're over here on table 19. So it looks like, okay, well, there's only 16 people here. Someone's going to win. I feel like I have a 1 in 16 chance. Stock market doesn't work that way. It's a very pyramid driven. So here at the top is Citadel, Jane Street, Millennium, Point 72. They have all the capital. Maybe it's an inverted pyramid. You're down here with your Robinhood account. And it takes 1 million of you, because there's only a couple of them. It takes 50 million Robinhood customers to challenge 5 hedge funds. And they will take your money. Not all the time, but usually the capital will flow from here to here. Jane Street made $20 billion last year. Citadel, whatever, 10 billion, et cetera, et cetera. Retail could have even made $1 billion because stocks are generally rising, or even $10 billion. But they underperformed the S&P. And they took way more risk. So when the market turns, they'll still make money. Jane Street makes money in any market, for example. It's a rigged game. I mean, basically, it's a rigged game. You're not going to win. Especially if you're not doing 80 hours a day studying investments. I mean, it's as good as likely as me beating Hikaru. I haven't spent my whole day. $80 hours a week. I'm getting older, guys. I wouldn't even. Why do you want to be in the market? Normies shouldn't be in the market. Even index funds are bad, in my opinion. Just do it every year, Peter. You'll be rich. Anthony's right on that, too. Yeah, I'm like 90 years old. Trading is zero sum, in my opinion. In fact, I think trading is negative sum. Why? Okay. You think the S&P 500 goes up over time. Why? Because it has gone up over time. The problem is That's not a good inference to make. Why? Because just because something has happened doesn't mean it'll keep happening. In fact, it could do that tomorrow. You don't know. You don't know, Sway. You have no clue. Second, we got a little thing that presses this down called inflation. And you also don't know what this inflation will be. So your real return looks something like that. And then we got another thing that presses this down called taxes. So if in the case you do win, you're going to take a little bit of that too. Real returns for the S&P are somewhere around 2% net of all this shit. And that's the best case scenario with the best managed country. Other countries, they cancel the currency on your ass. They cancel the stock market on your ass. You just have to be around a while. You get 10 nice years over here. This was the 60s to the 80s. 20 nice years of underperformance. The average person, listen, focus on the things that make you happy. You want to make a lot of money, find a trade, a business where you can make a lot of money. The stock market is one such business, but you better be dedicating your whole life to it. If you love the market and you love investing, look at chess. Okay, let's not pick on chess. Let's pick on backgammon. There are people who play backgammon as much as chess and poker. Why would you spend your life looking at some plastic cards or some wooden pieces or throwing a dice in a backgammon game? It's because you love it. You know, you have an admiration for the beauty of the game. You just, some people call it the chess bug. Kids get bitten by. You just want to play. I went to Hunter College High School. I used to play chess all day in the hallway. Not even go to class. I just play chess. It's fun. And if you love the market, you love stocks, you love the action, you love the businesses, work on Wall Street, man. It's great. But you want to participate from home? Okay, it's doable. But you really got to get into it. You can't have some other job. This is your job, right? You want to be serious about it? I'm just a grandmaster on the weekends. It doesn't work that way. Real stacks, you might want to look at last year's returns too. Yeah, you got 2 jobs, you got no time for investing. Can I beat Hikaru if he's down a queen? Jeez, I don't know. That whole down a queen business is a little fucked. It's kind of a different game at that point. Play Leela without a queen? That might be fun. Yeah, there's fewer grandmasters than billionaires. I like that. No, Theta, I don't like those words. It was $20, Shiza. It was pretty funny. I mean, every time this happens, like, again, we'll see on Monday, but every time this happens, it's like, bruh. I've literally, just been doing this 20 years. Like I write my stuff up. There's lots of it online. Yeah, I think I'm a GM at investing. I don't know. Who's a great GM at investing? Peter Thiel. That man's a beast. That man is a beast.